while riding an electric scooter. What we're learning about the investigation tonight.
White's Ferry and the surrounding acreage is changing hands. Could this be the first step to reopening the passage from Maryland to Virginia?
Plus, tonight, all eyes are on the White House Correspondents' Dinner as security reaches a new level after April's attack. We're live from Capitol Hill with the latest.
After backlash from hundreds of incoming Howard University freshmen after they were unenrolled due to unpaid bills, the university is now responding. What they said in our interview.
And we finally made it to the weekend. We'll have a look at that weekend forecast coming up.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall. Developing now, a Fairfax County community grieving after a 9-year-old boy was killed while riding an electric scooter last night. He said the boy collided with a minivan. The driver stayed on scene. At this point, no charges have been filed. DC News Now's Marielle Carbone joins us live in Herndon, Virginia. Marielle, you've been speaking to neighbors. What are they telling you?
Well, Mark, they certainly say that this has been a difficult time for everyone. This is an area with a lot of kids that are always out playing and riding their bikes. So neighbors we spoke to, many who would not show their faces on camera, say they are just all working to process together. Now, police tell us that this happened around 5:30 last night. That is when they say the driver of a minivan pulled into the Herndon neighborhood, turning left onto Madden Court. As she did that, the boy, who was riding an electric scooter, collided with the back passenger side of the van. He was taken to an area hospital and pronounced dead there. Police say there is no evidence that the driver of the van was driving in an unsafe or reckless manner. She is cooperating and is not facing any charges at this time. As far as the scooter goes, police could not confirm what type of scooter the boy was riding, only that it's an electric scooter, or how fast he was going, or even if his family owns it, or if it's one of those rental scooters. They do tell us he was not wearing a helmet, and police are now reminding parents and children alike to always take safety precautions on these types of vehicles.
With these electric vehicles, with bicycles, whether you're a pedestrian on the road, that you want to take safety precautions at all times, whether that's wearing a helmet, it could be a reflective band, high visibility clothing, to proceed in crosswalks.
And police do say that the driver of that minivan is familiar with this neighborhood. The boy also lives in this neighborhood. Police say victim services have been out here today, working both with the driver as well as the family of that young boy. Reporting live in Herndon, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you. Let's check in with meteorologist Brittany Ward. She's in for meteorologist Damon Madsen, who will join us later this evening. Of course, Brittany, it is Friday, the weekend underway for so many people. A lot to see and do. Will the weather cooperate?
You know, the good news, Mark, if you do have any plans this weekend, the weather will be in your favor. We are going to be tracking mainly dry conditions. Clouds, though, will continue to roll their way in, but regardless, it's going to be a very nice weekend ahead. Satellite and radar showing you the over picture. It wasn't a bad Friday out there. Yes, we did see more clouds begin to build their way in. That's really going to be the trend, especially as we head into tonight. Mostly cloudy skies will be expected, but those dry conditions will continue. Now, just to kickstart your Friday evening off, take a look at those temperatures. We're already in the upper 70s, back off to the north and west, lower 80s here in DC. You're sitting at 77 degrees right now in Winchester, Virginia. 79 in Hagerstown, 82 there in Kaiser. So not a bad start to our Friday evening. Now, I will be giving you the green light throughout the rest of your evening into your Saturday. Notice we are going to be holding on to the 80s as we head right around 5 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies expected around 7 o'clock this evening, but those temperatures dipping down into the lower 80s, upper 70s though, to talk about right around 9 o'clock. And then we still see those clouds build their way in overnight, but then Mark heading into the weekend, not looking too bad. We do have a slight chance of seeing a few isolated showers here and there, but it's not going to be a washout. So we'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Brittany, thank you. The bus driver charged in the deadly I-95 crash that killed 5 people will remain behind bars. A Stafford County District Court judge today denying Xingsheng Dong's request for bond. Well, earlier in the week, a circuit court judge granted bond on some other charges. But Dong could not be released unless bond was also approved in general district court. He is facing involuntary manslaughter charges in connection to the crash that killed those 5 people, including 2 children. His trial is set for October 6th. Tonight it is take 2 for the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington. The event was cut short in April after police say that a gunman targeting the president breached security, forcing the Secret Service to evacuate the ballroom. News Nation Washington correspondent Raquel Martin joins us live. And Raquel, how is Secret Service preparing for this Correspondents' Dinner?
Hey, Mark. Well, Secret Service is promising beefed up security at tonight's event, which will be taking place at a different hotel here in Washington. They say the new security plan is months in planning. It includes enhanced airport light screenings, and they say guests attending will have to present a digital ticket instead of a printed one.
The president looks forward to finishing what he started.
Following the chaos that erupted at April's White House Correspondents' Dinner when Secret Service agents rushed President Trump and top administration officials out of the ballroom after a gunman breached security, tonight, President Trump gets his do-over.
And I encourage everyone watching to tune in for what promises to be a very entertaining and memorable evening.
The White House says the president's speech will stick to the dinner's comedic tradition. Officials say it will be a, quote, unifying yet vicious and serious yet hilarious speech. The fun, however, stops there.
We're in a heightened level of a threat environment right now.
Outside, Secret Service is promising more road closures and even airport-style screenings before entering the venue. Earlier this week, Secret Service previewed their robust plans to scope out threats.
We're not looking at this as a redo of a dinner. We're looking at this as a presidential site with cabinet members and other protectees there.
According to the FBI, the gunman who breached security in April and is now charged with attempting to assassinate the president checked into the hotel just days before the event.
We do expect bad people to show up. It's just a reality of where we are. But we're treating it no different than any other site that the president goes to.
One Secret Service agent was shot while confronting the gunman in April and will be honored at tonight's event.
Several top cabinet officials will be joining President Trump at the dinner tonight. That includes the Defense Secretary, the heads of the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security, but notably missing will be the Vice President, who was actually in attendance at last time's dinner. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin. Back to you, Mark.
Raquel, has Secret Service made changes since April?
Well, they said they didn't want to reveal too many of the details at this week's briefing about what changes they may have made, but they honestly are defending the protocol they had in place at the dinner back in April, saying that it worked at the end of the day. We know that there has been another attempt at the president's life since this April shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and the Secret Service has confronted some questions from Capitol Hill. They say they have made adjustments, but of course just not giving any detail to the public at this point.
Raquel Martin live on Capitol Hill. Thank you so very much. As for the April shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Cole Thomas Allen has pleaded not guilty after being charged with attempting to assassinate the president. He last appeared in court last month when they paused the speedy trial clock to give prosecutors and the defense more time to review evidence in the case. If convicted, Allen faces life in prison. The next hearing is scheduled for August 20th, where the judge expects to set a trial date. Well, drivers should plan for road closures Friday as the rescheduled White House Correspondents' Dinner takes place at the Waldorf Astoria. And you can see on the screen, the purple are the road closures. And right now, stretches of Pennsylvania Avenue between 9th and 14th Streets, along with parts of 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th Streets are closed. Emergency no parking restrictions are also in effect throughout the day. For more information on which streets to avoid, you can head to our website, DCNewsNow.com. Well, there's a new curfew zone for this weekend in the district. Police announcing large groups of kids will not be allowed to gather in the Berry Farm neighborhood. Starting tomorrow night at 8, that area highlighted in yellow on your screen, and the restrictions then bleed right into the citywide curfew that goes until 6 in the morning. Well, a 26-year-old Woodbridge man is dead after a wrong-way crash in Prince William County. Police say Byron Guerrero ran a red light on Prince William Parkway early this morning, driving into oncoming lanes, then crossed back over the roadway before crashing into a concrete barrier and a parked highway safety truck. Investigators believe that speed was a factor. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. In Maryland, 2 people are looking for a new place to stay after a fire tore through their home. Montgomery County fire crews responded to the house in Silver Spring just after midnight. Officials say that an electrical issue caused it. 2 people and their cat were able to escape uninjured. The Red Cross is providing assistance. Well, for years, the White's Ferry was a key conduit from Maryland to Northern Virginia. Well, it stopped operating in 2020 due to a land dispute. Well, today, a big step toward potentially reopening the passage. Elected officials gathered for a major announcement as Montgomery County acquired the ferry and the surrounding land. DC News Now's Haley Milan is live at the ferry landing site. Haley, what does this mean for the future?
Hey, it's great news for anyone who lives in the area and wants to get across the river. It's a convenient thing for people locally here, and it's key to the economies on both sides of the river. You've got to go about 45 minutes in either direction to find a bridge to cross the river. Now, it did close back in 2020 due to that land dispute. I'm going to step away and show you the landing here in Virginia. There's the ferry behind me. Now, developer Jeff Kuhn purchased the ferry and the land back in 2020, and the Virginia landing site is owned by Rockland Farm owner Libby Devlin. The 2 sides couldn't reach a business agreement that satisfied their profit goals, and for years, Rockland Farm had only been paid a few bucks annually for the use of its land and for vehicles to get off the ferry there. Now, officials say the ferry being shut down hurt businesses, with an economic activity dropping 20% here in the region. State Representative Marilyn Balcom says acquiring the land is just the start.
This has really impacted employers, employees, and the economic development of this entire region. So this is one step, one extremely important step, and we'll be back hopefully very soon to announce the second step.
So people on either side of the river will be able to access both economies in Loudoun and Montgomery County much easier if and when the ferry reopens. But again, that mark is still up in the air.
Haley, the Coons, they're donating the ferry and then selling the 3 acres to the county for about $1.5 million. But this doesn't necessarily mean that the ferry reopens. What has to happen next?
Yeah, a lot of negotiations ahead, Mark. I am told that it should be an easier process for both sides now that the ferry is technically a public utility and an asset of Montgomery County. That may make it easier for the folks on the Commonwealth side to agree to terms. I'm going to tell you why coming up at 5. For now, in Montgomery County, I'm Haley Milan, DC News Now.
And Haley, thank you. DC News Now continues to be your local election headquarters. Today, the last day for Virginia voters to register or update their voter information ahead of the August primary. Now, it is also the last day to apply for a ballot to be mailed. Now, early in-person voting runs through August 1st. Voters will choose candidates for U.S. Senate, Congress, and local offices. Now, one of the big questions remains over whether new district maps will be in place. Well, LeBron James has decided where he's playing basketball next season. The NBA's all-time leading scorer is headed to the city of brotherly love. That would be Philadelphia. James made the announcement on social media saying that he believes that he can help the 76ers become a championship team. And he says that this is, quote, his last decision. He's signing a reported 2-year, $8 million contract. The 41-year-old future Hall of Famer is entering his 24th season and spent the last 8 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers. He joins a stacked roster of Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown, who Philadelphia acquired in a trade this offseason with the Boston Celtics. Still ahead on DC News Now at 4, after backlash from hundreds of incoming Howard University freshmen who were unenrolled due to unpaid bills. Universities now responding. And the massive cyclospora outbreak has expanded to even more states. One of the nation's leading infectious disease experts joins us with how much longer the outbreak will likely last. It's what's going around.